Okay, so here we are. So I've painted up the case, done the power button, I've wired up all the gubbins inside, put on another USB port, all that jazz. So kind of did what I set out to do, and I didn't burn the house down in doing it. So that's a bonus. The main thing is as well that the power button does kind of work. I'll go over that at the end, because what we're going to do now is fire it up, try out a few games. You watch me playing games badly for a few minutes just to see how it runs. You'll see there's a bit of lag and stuff. Again, I'll sort of summarize everything at the end, and then once I'm done, I'll tell you what I think and any pitfalls that I've come across on the way, and whether I would do it again. If you follow my Instagram, you'll probably know the outcome of this anyway. But yeah, let's turn it on and take a look. So there we go. So I tested it out with a few games. I think it's playable. You know, I'm happy with it. We're just going to sort of run over what I've done from the sort of the technical side of things. I printed out a little label, a soldier blade one for the little cue card that doesn't do anything, but it looks nice. A little bendy. I've not bent it back into shape yet. The power button is now a push button, as you probably saw at the beginning of the video, because I'm not clever enough, or my fingers, despite being very girly, are not very good at doing small intricate things with this. And if you see my Warhammer painting, you probably attest to that. So what I've done instead, I mounted a little push button switch, a momentary button in here. Makes a nice little click when you press it. So I wanted to keep the green button on here, just because it kind of looks good against the white. So, you know, that works in the way that it turns it off. As soon as you plug this in, it switches on. So you don't have to press it to turn it on. It just switches on anyway. You press its safe shutdown, and that's the main thing. That's quite important. I've mounted a USB port. Now, I've done it as an extra USB port. At least I think I have. I've not really tested both out at the same time yet. There's now a front port on here with an adapter with the 8-bit do thing, so I can use the controller. So that works as well. So I'm quite happy with that. Around the back, there's still the original USB port. Like I said, I don't know if it works, and also it kind of gets in the way. This adapter gets in the way of the power cable. The case hasn't quite closed flush. It's probably because I would need to trim off a little more on the pins, the header pins. I don't want to do that. I trimmed them all down a fair bit, and I want to leave a little bit on for soldering stuff, which is what I had to do. I had to solder on the cable for the power button. But, you know, it's fine. No one's going to look around the back. I've kind of bodged it a little bit here and there. Overall, I'm happy with the case. There was a few things when I got it from Slugboy Printing, who very kindly printed this for me. He said there's just like this very, very thin bit here snapped. This is sort of where the micro SD goes. Not a big deal. It's, you know, again, like I say, I'm not precious about these things. It's more to see if I could do it. You know, sort of could work with this and 3D print a case and fit a pie in there and solder shit on, and, you know, just get something functioning. So overall, with the look of it, I'm pretty happy. I am eventually going to get probably print out some kind of slide transfer decal to go on the top for the PC Engine, and then I might spray it. I might varnish it, sort of spray varnish it, give it a coat, because it's ever so slightly tacky still from the paint. It was kind of a primer, so I might sort of clean it up again, maybe give it another coat, let it dry, give it a coat of varnish once I put the slide transfer thing on, and then, you know, that might make it a bit more durable. I feel that the paint may scratch off at this stage if I'm a bit too heavy-handed with it. In terms of the technical side of things, I've got this massive SD card to fit the image on, because there's a lot of CD-ROM games and stuff like that. It may have been unnecessary. I think it comes in at probably just under 128. So I think it might just about fit on a 128 gig card. But we'll see. I maybe explore that down the line, because I don't know if maybe that it's slow to boot because it's a bigger card, or it's slow to boot because the Pi itself is a 0. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look into that as another option. Maybe down the line I might change it over for a 02W, which would probably cope with this a lot better. Another thing you may have seen in the game was the slowdown. So there was a bit of slowdown on a couple of the games here and there, and the music sort of stuttered a little bit. Not having owned original hardware, I can't comment on whether that is down to, you know, the Pi, or whether the original games on the PC Engine suffered like that. I feel it's probably the Pi, because it was a Pi 0. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. The games are certainly playable even. And I did initially have an issue after I soldered everything together and put it all back together. It wouldn't connect to Wi-Fi. I thought I completely fucked over the wireless thing in it. So I was a little bit miffed, but then I plugged it into a better power source and it seemed to work again and everything reconnected. So, you know, maybe I got lucky, or maybe it just I wasn't getting enough juice from the cable I was using initially. So that's fine. But overall, you know, I'm happy with it. Would I do it again? No, I probably wouldn't do it again, to be honest. I think it's one of those things I had to explore whether I could and what the end result would be. And I've always got this grand idea of what things are going to look like once I've finished. I think this will be pretty close to what I planned. And I learned a lot of stuff doing it. You know, I learned a few things about where to solder stuff on the Pi and, you know, pins and all that business. So that was, you know, it's good to know, but I don't know if I would go over it again and do the same thing for another build. I'm kind of looking now at, I've got a few Pis in various cases. I mean, we got like this lovely, if I just come out a little bit, my GPi case, which is brilliant. I love that. You know, and I've got the other ones as well, the other retro flag ones. Brilliant. You know, if they make more retro flag cases, then I probably will do another one, but that's fine because they're designed to kind of, you know, they got the safe shutdown built in. They're really nice units. They fit, they don't warp, all that stuff. They're solid. So, you know, I might do it then, but otherwise I think I'm looking at more like actual releases of things. You know, I've got a C64 Mini coming soon. Looking forward to that. I've heard mixed things about it. I think the joystick's going to be shit. But I think side loading the games, or, you know, putting stuff into the carousel myself, that's going to be cool, because how else am I going to replicate the feeling of playing Future Night around my cousin's house back in the 80s? I mean, I could use a full-size C64, sure, but nah, I don't want that. Mini consoles, get them all in the house and hide them away, and then Mrs. Dan does not get upset. So yeah, so that's the next thing. So I'll maybe look at that, but other minis as well, the A500 Mini, and you know, we'll see where that goes from there. Look, little arcade cabs as well. Just got to find places to store it all. So I think in terms of building from scratch and doing everything, I might be done. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. And it's just given me a load more games that I will not play in favor of doing more gaming projects. That seems to be the loop I'm stuck in. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bit of a longer video here. I look to do a C64, probably an unboxing, about 4 years behind everybody else. I'm retro in my coverage of retro gear, so you know, there's that. So yeah, we'll do a C64 unboxing. I'll take a look at all the games that come with it, and maybe look at side loading some shit, and maybe faffing with the carousel, and promising the world that I'm going to do a user guide, and maybe not, and I'll just play some games instead. But that'll be the next thing, so hopefully in the next week or two. But until then, I hope you enjoyed watching the crap that I come up with, and this little mini Pi thing, and happy gaming. See you later.